So where I left off, I was discussing controls. I feel like the controls of this game are quite loose and cartoony, and I think they just really need to be tightened up. I played a lot of games with really tight controls, and that's what I'm comparing this to. One of the things that makes Call of Duty a staple is that its controls are tight. You move your soldier one way or the other, you move your sights one way or the other, it's really spot on. I know it has auto aim and whatnot, but the controls in games like Call of Duty and Battlefield feel a lot tighter than they do here. They're very loose, very cartoony. I find myself jetpacking and just being stopped by the smallest things. I find myself moving left to right, and there being a ridiculous delay that, in my opinion, just shouldn't be there. So I feel like the controls in this game could stand an overhaul. You know, I would really appreciate the controls in this game were a lot tighter. Also, what I think Destiny needs, the ability to skip cutscenes. I don't really need to watch all these random ass cutscenes just to go to Mars and start a story mission. I've seen them all. I'd like to say fuck off to those cutscenes and get down to my mission. Or maybe play some music. Also, I feel like this game needs more customizable ships. Now, it does have a lot of ships in it, and some of them have different paint jobs, and that's cool, but I'm talking real customizable ships. I want to change the wings, change the paint job. I want to really have a standout ship. I don't mind having, you know, pre-comp ships where they're already put together, like the birth of history or whatever, but I want to be able to do stuff to my ship, you know? That'd be nice. Maybe in the future something like that come along, because those ships are begging to be customized. Another thing this game's missing, which I think it needs, companions. I like to play this mostly solo. You know, I get together in groups sometimes for nightfalls. I don't mind if people join my nightfall. You catch me online and you join my nightfall session, I'm not gonna give a fuck. I like to get together for raids and whatnot, but honestly, I'd like to have a companion, somebody who can draw some fire from time to time. You know, maybe put some guns on the ghost. Something I can, like, you know, summon and place on the ground just to, you know, get the enemy's attention from time to time, draw a little bit of fire, help me out, maybe with some extra firepower, maybe, you know, disabling a boss or whatnot. I'll obviously take them out of PvP, but, you know, I'd like to see something like that in PvE. Another thing which really just pisses me off if it's not on PS4 and Xbox One, 60 frames per second. Every game on the current gen, or I guess next gen, or what is current gen now, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the, I guess, Wii U, all those games need to be 60 frames per second. What's the excuse, really? I hear that they're trying to be comparable to PS3 and Xbox 360. Fuck out of here. There's no reason for you to be comparable to PS3 and Xbox 360. It's the PS4. All these games need to be 60 frames per second. I'm hoping that Destiny 2 is 60 frames per second. Like, what's going on with that? That is just a prerequisite for games coming out on this new platform of consoles right now. 60 frames per second is just what it needs to be, and there's really no excuse for it not being there. Also, I think enemies and PvP should drop materials like, you know, spin metal, spirit bloom, things like that. When I kill an enemy, I need them to just drop it. I don't need to be running around finding, like, dude, I mean, it doesn't have to happen all the time, but seriously, when I kill an enemy, he needs to drop spirit bloom if I'm on Venus. From time to time. Not every time, just time to time. That is just like a staple in every video game in existence. The enemies drop shit. This is a loot game. Why aren't they dropping spirit bloom? Why aren't they dropping any of those relic iron or any of those types of items? And the same thing in PvP. If I win a couple of PvP games, if I win a PvP game on one of the Earth maps, you know, it would be nice to get about 10 or 15 spin metal at the end. I mean, I get in games where I'm the best guy on the winning team, or hell, sometimes I'm the best guy in the game on the losing team, and I get nothing. It would be nice if instead of nothing, maybe I get 15 spin metal. I'm just saying, that'd be nice. I think there needs to be, like, I don't know how to implement this, but I would say PvP events. Like, at the end of a PvP game, maybe something could happen randomly, just randomly, you know, 1 in 20 games where the you know, room goes dark, light starts blinking, a boss comes down, and everybody who was previously on other teams is now on the same team and get a chance to kill some hard boss randomly and get some cool loot. That would be nice. Like, more events like that. I know they're adding new events now. They got the little sword event on Earth because, you know, the new expansion's out, and, you know, you give you a chance to fight back Crota or whatever. but it'd be nice if they had some cool shit like that in PvP. I've played games like that. I remember Uncharted 2 used to have an event where a tank rolled through the fucking map and now opened up a different area in the map and also opened up a power weapon. Like, I think Destiny could really do something with that. Like, could really take things to a new level with PvP events and really even more PvE events. The events in PvE just are so few and far between. One more thing, and I think this game is just begging for this. There needs to be a player killer area, kind of like DayZ, but with loot involved, with factions involved. Basically, like, what I'm saying is, if you're wearing, like, you know, a class item from the Queen's faction, you're on that faction, and people of that faction can't shoot you in the player killer area. If you're wearing Future War Cult stuff, you're now with the Future War Cult, and people from wearing Future War Cult can't shoot you. Vanguard, Iron Banner, all the same. There needs to be a player killer area where it's kind of like PvP, but it's treasure hunting. And it's kind of like you're looking for treasure, you're out in the wilderness finding shit, and I think the Reef is the perfect place for this, because there is shit in the Reef. So a player killer area where there's high level loot, high level PvE enemies, and just, you know, random motherfuckers from different factions looking for you, maybe even bounties on people's heads. Maybe a system to decide who's a good guy and a bad guy, different armor that only comes out of this player killer area, just all kinds of stuff like that. A lot of games out here have PK areas where, you know, it's no holds barred, free for all for crazy loot. I think this game would be perfect for that, and it would create just an interesting dynamic and just a whole new experience. Honestly, if that existed, that's all the videos you would see. You wouldn't see any PvP or PvE or raid videos. All you would see are PK videos if that existed. And it would be different and crazy and frantic every time. I think this game could stand to use something like that. Also, I think there needs to be events that change the landscape. Vault of Glass, once, like, maybe, I don't know, 1,000 people beat Vault of Glass should have changed the way Venus looked. There should be different structures, there should be new things going on, there should be more loot on Venus, there should be different enemies doing different things, there should be different enemies spawning, more Cyclops, all sorts of stuff. Alright, there should be sightings of Atheon on Venus. The Vault of Glass should have changed everything about Venus. And the same thing with Crota, it should change everything about the moon once a certain number of people beat it. Also, one more thing, kind of a no-brainer. When you look for materials and stuff on the ground, I shouldn't have to hold square to pick it up. Alright, or the Xbox, they shouldn't have to hold X to pick it up. I should just pick up Spirit Bloom by walking over it. Now a chest, I should just have to tap square. Just tap it. I don't need, why the fuck do I need to hold square? I understand in PvP, you know, you gotta hold it. I get that, a time limit. But in PvE, I should just be able to tap square, it opens the chest. If I walk over spin metal, the game should automatically collect the fucking spin metal. What am I losing by not automatically collecting spin metal? Other than, actually I'm gaining something. Sometimes I don't see it. And I might walk over while I'm playing a game like, oh shit, got some spin metal. Why is that not a no-brainer? That is in every game. When you walk over items in most games, you just pick it up. You don't have to choose to claim it, you just grab it. Because you walk past it. And, you know, like I said, enemies should drop materials, and I should be able to just pick them up. So these are the ideas I have on Destiny. This will be my last video on what I think Destiny needs. I'm going to discuss other videos on, you know, other things. Mostly over PvP gameplay. I'll probably discuss some things as far as PvE goes, maybe raid and whatnot, and specific weapons that I really like. But I'll mostly be discussing PvP builds and whatnot. One last thing I think Destiny needs. Fucking lasers. This is from the people who made Halo. I don't care if it's a heavy weapon and a heavy laser or a primary weapon and a light laser. The game needs lasers. Borderlands has lasers. Halo has fucking lasers. This is Halo Borderlands. Where the fuck are the lasers? That's it. As always, like the commentary, give a thumbs up. If you don't, give a thumbs down. Catch you motherfuckers lasers.